Ever experienced a difficult day and thought things couldn't possibly get worse? Well, medieval peasants would like a word with you. Back in the era when kings ruled and dragons haunted folklore, ordinary people endured lives so grueling that your worst day might resemble a luxurious vacation. Imagine existing in a world where roughly 90% of the population lacked electricity, indoor plumbing, or even a reliable meal. There were no grocery stores, no delivery apps, no modern conveniences, only your hands, your wits, and whatever you could cultivate or barter. Survival demanded ingenuity, resilience, and relentless physical effort. These peasants were tougher than any modern athlete. While we obsessively track steps on our smartwatches, they engaged in a full-body workout every single day, plowing, weeding, hauling, hammering, lifting, and tending animals without gyms, trainers, or protein shakes. Yet, despite their hardships, they weren't trapped in misery. They created amusements, celebrated communal festivals, and often enjoyed richer social lives than people glued to social media feeds today. When did your entire neighborhood last gather for a feast or work together to survive a disaster? Life demanded constant creativity. In a world without convenience, every problem required a solution. Lost an ox that could threaten survival. A single crop blight could mean famine. There was no refrigeration, no storage for perishables. Failure could mean weeks of hunger. This was survival on a daily, unrelenting scale. The workday began at sunrise. In winter, it might start at 7 a.m., but in summer, as early as 4. Labor was not specialized. Every peasant was a jack-of-all-trades: farmer, shepherd, carpenter, blacksmith. Mastery of multiple skills was mandatory. Otherwise, hunger or hardship was inevitable. Spring was plowing season, executed with wooden plows dragged by oxen. Maintaining a straight furrow required immense strength and precision. 8 oxen could plow 1 acre in a day, so losing 1 ox could spell catastrophe. Summer meant endless fieldwork: weeding, watering, tending crops, and guarding against pests. Autumn brought harvests, sickles, repeated motions, bending, lifting, and hours under the sun. By their mid-30s, many peasants suffered arthritis, a result of lifelong physical labor. Winter was no break. Repairs for homes, barns, and fences were essential. Indoor tasks included spinning wool, mending clothing, and threshing grain, striking wheat in poorly ventilated barns for hours. Peasants relied on ingenuity. They developed storage techniques for grains, smoked and salted meat, and preserved vegetables to last through harsh winters. The concept of a long winter was survival and strategy, not idleness. Despite the constant work, peasants had days off. Holy days mandated by the church provided roughly 150 non-working days annually. Villages thrived on cooperation. Sharing oxen, tools, and labor ensured survival, creating early forms of social safety nets. Some peasants mastered crafts: blacksmithing, brewing, beekeeping, skills essential for trade and survival. Food was functional and calorie-dense, yet simple. Bread made up the bulk of the diet: coarse, gritty, often laced with fragments of stone from millstones. Potager, thick soup of peas, beans, and seasonal vegetables, was supplemented occasionally by salted or smoked meat. Small byre replaced unsafe water, providing a safe and hydrating daily drink. Preservation techniques: salting, drying, fermenting ensured survival through winter. On fasting days, creative substitutes like almond milk or mock eggs allowed peasants to observe religious practices without going hungry. Homes were modest, practical, and multi-purposed. A typical dwelling measured 400 square feet, housing the entire family and often small animals. Wattle and daub walls combined sticks with a mixture of mud, straw, and manure. Thatched roofs, while protective, attracted rats, mice, and insects. Dirt floors were layered with rushes and herbs, replaced periodically. Smoke from cooking fires preserved the thatch and deterred pests. Windows were either wooden shutters or oiled parchment. Lighting came from rushlights, dim and flickering, meaning evenings were spent together or in near darkness. Furniture was minimal: table, benches, storage chests. Beds were straw-stuffed mats on the floor, with families huddling together for warmth. Archaeological excavations of medieval mittens, garbage pits outside homes, reveal everything from pottery to lost coins, providing snapshots of daily life and diet. Village layouts encouraged cooperation and survival. Communal baking ovens, animal pens, and greens facilitated efficiency and social interaction. Homes were built close together to retain heat and minimize wind exposure, demonstrating early understanding of energy efficiency. Privacy was scarce. Everyone knew everyone's affairs, from disputes over livestock to communal responsibilities. Cooperation was essential. Repairing thatched roofs, harvesting, and preparing for winter were shared endeavors. The feudal system imposed strict obligations. Peasants were bound to the land, paying up to half of their crops to lords and performing labor without exception. Fines were imposed for over-harvesting wood or catching game. Leaving the village or marrying outside often required fees. Yet peasants could bring cases to manor courts, and approximately 40% of disputes against social superiors were won. Women were active participants, representing about 15% of plaintiffs. Punishments ranged from fines to public shaming, stocks or ducking stools, creating consequences that were as creative as they were harsh. That medicine was a precarious mix of superstition and practical knowledge. Bloodletting, poultices, leeches, charms, and ritualistic treatments were common. Yet they discovered effective remedies: honey for wounds, moldy bread for infections, splinting broken bones. Some peasants even survived trepanation, drilling holes into the skull for headaches or epilepsy with remarkable success. Epidemics like the Black Death brought bizarre solutions: beak masks filled with herbs, banning cats or strapping pigeons to patients' feet. Despite extremes, herbal remedies, hygiene, and community care allowed villagers to endure. Children learned survival early, contributing to work in fields, homes, and crafts. Skeletal evidence shows growth stunting during famine, resuming when food was available, a literal record of survival encoded in bones. Festivals and religious rituals punctuated life, providing relief and joy. Harvest festivals involve shared meals, music and dance. Seasonal rituals, spring blessings, summer prayers for rain, autumn thanksgiving, winter warding off misfortune combined spiritual observance with agricultural strategy. Storytelling, games, and shared warmth strengthened bonds during harsh winters. Peasants were skilled innovators. They developed irrigation, crop rotation, selective planting, and craft techniques. Blacksmiths forged tools, nails, and horseshoes. Weavers produced textiles. Brewers perfected fermentation. Knowledge transfer was continuous, creating a culture of adaptation and resilience. Winter was survival-focused. Without central heating, fires, layered clothing, and huddling for warmth were essential. Underground pits preserved vegetables. Barns kept grains dry. Meat was salted, smoked, or dried. Rushes insulated floors. Herbs masked odors. Homes were maintained communally, ensuring structures remained habitable during harsh months. Every action had a survival purpose. Peasants' lives followed the sun and seasons. Labor began at dawn and continued until dusk, punctuated by festivals, holy days, and communal celebrations. Food, shelter, and clothing depended on skill, effort, and knowledge. Cooperation, ingenuity, and endurance were as vital as tools or crops. Medieval peasants demonstrated remarkable adaptability. They created informal safety nets, social networks, and rituals. Labor, creativity, and cooperation allowed survival during famine, disease, and extreme weather. Modern comforts shield us from hardship, but the peasants' world demanded constant vigilance, skill, and community. Even in bitter winters, when fires barely warmed homes and food was scarce, small joys persisted: shared meals, laughter, music, storytelling, and mutual care. Survival demanded adaptability, courage, and ingenuity. From plowing, weeding, and harvesting to toolmaking, adhering to feudal laws, practicing makeshift medicine, and supporting neighbors, every action was purposeful. Within these trials, peasants found purpose, connection, and fleeting joy. Their ingenuity and adaptability allowed survival through extreme hardship, epidemics, and unpredictable weather. Their story is not one of despair, but resilience, innovation, and humanity persisting against staggering odds. Walking a single day in their shoes reminds us that even our worst modern days are cushioned by comfort, technology, and safety nets. Medieval peasants never knew. Their endurance, creativity, and social cohesion offer a powerful lesson in survival, adaptation, and the human capacity to flourish under extreme conditions. From dawn to dusk, labor in the fields, communal festivals, strategic food preservation, inventive herbal medicine, cooperative village life, and navigating the feudal system. Medieval peasants thrived in a world of unrelenting challenge. Their story is a testament to resilience, resourcefulness, and the unbreakable human spirit. Even the harshest winters could not break them. Fires, layered clothing, community warmth, and ingenious food storage ensured survival. The peasant's life demanded relentless adaptation, skill, and cooperation. Yet within this harsh reality, they found community, joy, and the satisfaction of a hard day's work completed. A meal shared, a roof repaired, and a field successfully harvested. Peasant life was rigorous, unglamorous, and demanding, but also rich in ingenuity, social cohesion, and human connection. Their existence reminds us that comfort is a modern luxury. While survival, resilience, and adaptability are timeless human virtues, the peasant's world may seem alien, brutal, and unforgiving, yet it was filled with lessons in perseverance, cleverness, and social cooperation. Their lives, fully interwoven with the land, the seasons, and each other, illustrate the profound capacity of humans to endure, adapt, and create meaning even under the harshest conditions. This is the story of the medieval peasant, laborious, inventive, communal, and utterly human. A life measured by seasons, survival, and solidarity. And if you think your rough day was bad, remember, they faced drought, disease, frost, hunger, and the whims of lords, and somehow, they endured, thrived, and left a legacy of unyielding human resilience.